Good morning all, welcome back to Sew Granny Sew. We are going to jump right into our block number 5 and our final block on our Humble Beginnings quilt top. So we have these fabrics. The fabrics come in a kit. They come one size and we have to cut them down to another. I'm going to go ahead and get those cut down and I will meet you back here. So we are back with our fabric all cut out. So these are our smaller squares right here, and we're going to set them aside for this step. So we are going to take these and we are going to match them up and make the half square triangles, saving both sides. So the cream and the burgundy go together and the brown and the green go together. So we're going to flip the lighter color of the two over and we're going to draw those diagonal lines on there. So we're just going to take it from point to point. And we will also do that with the cream. Once we have them lines drawn on, we're going to go ahead and lay one of these down and one of these on top. Line those edges up. And we'll put a pin on each side. And then we're going to copy that same thing and do these two and this one as well. Okay, so we're going to bring them to the sewing machine and we're going to go a 1/4 inch on this side of the line and a 1/4 inch on that side of the line. So we'll just put a seam on there and then a seam on that, and we're going to do that to all 4 of them. So I'll get that done and I'll meet you back here. We have all of our squares sewn with this half square triangle. So as you can see, it's a 1/4 inch away from that line on both sides. So now we're just going to take our square, lay that on there, line it up with that line, and cut them apart. And we're going to do that to all 4 of them. So we will just press it towards the dark. We're just going to roll it open, finger press that down, take our iron, set that on there for a few seconds, and we're going to repeat and do all now 8 of them like that. Okay, set that wool mat aside. We're just going to go through and we are going to cut all of our dog ears off, which is this little bit that hangs over the edge. You will have 2 on each block, and you will do that to all of them. Our next step is going to be to square these up. So we're just going to take this, match it up with our diagonal line. And so what you're going to do is you're going to put that on there, line that up, and you're going to trim down any excess. Since it's a half square triangle, it doesn't matter which side you take it off of. So I'm going to go through and I will get the rest of these done and I will meet you back here. So we have all of our squares squared up and ready to go. So we're going to set those aside. Now it's time to start working on our smaller squares. So the first thing it says is fold and press for fabric C burgundy, which are these ones, in half diagonally, wrong sides together. So such as this. So I'm going to turn this on and we're going to press these as we go. We're going to start with one to make sure I get this right. Okay. Pin and stitch down the folded triangles in place on top of 4 of the fabric D. It does not say where to stitch in place. But we are making these center ones right here now. Use a scant 1/8 seam allowance. This is just to keep them in place while sewing the block together. The raw edges be to the outside and folded part of the square will be across the center. So it gives us a little diagram down here. Peel back the fold and stitch down. I'm assuming the first part is they want you to stitch around this outside with a scant 1/8. I believe it's what they're saying. So we're going to set that one aside and we're going to go ahead and press these last 3 wrong sides together. So we have all these ones ready then. Well, this one's not as bad as what I thought. I was so afraid of the circle part. I'm not real good at circles. I'm just learning myself. This one's not so bad. Okay, so we got those. And then we're going to go ahead and put those on there. And pin them into place. Let's get that off before you burn yourself. We'll take these over to the sewing machine and we will do a scant 1/8 around those 2 sides. A scant 1/8 or a scant 1/4 whichever way it's scant. You want it just a little bit, like a hair under the actual measurement. So a scant 1/8 we'll go for an 1/8 and we'll slide it over just a hair so it's not quite an 1/8. And then we'll stitch on both sides on all 4 squares and I will meet you back here. Okay, so we have all of them in place. So the next thing they say to do is fold that back. So it's rounded like that. And then we're going to top stitch this into place. I think that's going to look funny with white thread, but I'm going to go ahead and do it. There's enough cream colored in here that it'll be fine. So I'm going to go ahead and pin that into place. And I'm going to get all 4 folded back like that. So we kind of got a rough guess when we bring it to the sewing machine. So I've been really busy the last couple days. We had, right before Thanksgiving here, we had a freezer go out. We normally have an upright and a chest freezer, and the upright is for meat and the chest freezer is for veggies. However, our meat freezer went out, so we had to switch everything around. Luckily, we hadn't had much in the veggie freezer due to the garden. Not really planning a whole lot this year. So we got it all switched over, but I had to can a bunch of broth and soup and all kinds of stuff. And then I had to bake off some breads because I had some big nana and zucchini and stuff in there. A really hectic weekend here. Trying to get this block out, and we'll see if we can get another one yet. If not, of course, we'll pick up again tomorrow. So I'm going to go ahead and bring these to the sewing machine, and we're just going to top stitch around that curve into place, and I will meet you back here. We have all 4 of our blocks done like that. Not so sure I did that right, but we're going to find out right here in a minute. I did go off. Whoops. I did go off a couple times and had to restitch it. That one, and then, of course, that one there. So I'm just going to overlook that, and we're going to go ahead and start getting this put together. So we are going to start off by putting our 4 corners of our block, all with the brown facing outward. And then, let's see, a white one there, or cream colored. I'm trying to do this upside down to show you. So it'd be this one, a cream colored one, that one, and that one. And the next row will be oh, that's kind of cute. I really like that. Yeah, I would think this stitching here is going to be covered up in your seam. This is not. So we'll see how it looks when we get to that. But I would definitely use a matching thread when you're doing that. Anyways, we're going to go ahead and get these together. So we're just going to flip the outside rows to the inside row. And we're going to match up the outside edges, and we're going to pin that together. And we're just going to go along and do that to both of them. Going to go ahead and put a 1/4 inch seam all the way along on both rows. We're going to iron those open, and then I will meet you back here. And now we have each piece sewn in 2 sets of 2. So we're just going to flip this other one onto this one, line those up, pin them in place. Now when you're working with this thread, you always want to make sure that you line up those seams really good, because they're coming from all different angles, but you do want your points lined up. Okay, once we have that pinned into place, we'll just go ahead and take a 1/4 inch seam all the way along, iron those open, and I'll meet you back here to show you how to get the rows together. I did take these 2 here with the bulk of that and iron those open, because once we connect those, that's probably like 6 layers of fabric in the midsection. So I wanted to make them as thin as possible. It doesn't say how to iron them or anything on that. I did have this one upside down, so I had to seam rip that out and re-sew that in. So now we're just going to take our 2 rows, line them up, and where we can, we're going to nest those seams in. So there. And the other 2 on these are not going to nest, but we're just going to line it up with the middle of the seam and then where the seam is on that one. And we will do the same here. And then we will do the same thing with this one here. Bring them over to the sewing machine. We'll take a 1/4 inch seam on both of those, iron them open, and I'll come back and show you how to connect the 2 halves together. I just opened those seams up and ironed them flat because there was so much bulk with these fabric coming back into the seam allowance. So now we're just going to put these 2 together, and we're going to line these up. And you can't nest these seams, but you can kind of nest them. The one side does line up, like this side, does line up with the bulk of this when you go to click it into place. So you are lining it up, you're kind of nesting it. Okay, so we'll bring that over to the sewing machine, put a 1/4 inch seam in there, iron that open, and I'll come back with a finished block. I think it turned out adorable. I really like this one. You know, I thought I wouldn't enjoy a kit as much as I did. Probably blocks that I wouldn't otherwise normally have thought out to do. So I am just going to go through and show each of our blocks from start to finish. First one, I really like how that one turned out. That one's super duper easy. This was block number 2. That one was also fairly easy. Our block number 3, loved the apples on that one. Our block number 4, we stepped up the game a little bit. And that was a little bit harder, but still super easy. And then, of course, our block number 5, which I feared, and I had no reason to fear. It was not as hard as I thought it would be. So them are our 5 blocks that we did for this. We are next going to move on to our checkerboard. Let me see it. There we go. So we have a checkerboard pattern here, and our 5 blocks will go on these spots. So I got to pick out, we need a couple yards of one kind and a little over a yard of another kind of fabric to use for that, a burgundy and a cream color it looks like. So I'm going to go ahead and pick those out tonight and get those all ready. So let me know in the comments below what you all think of this one. As always, guys, if you found this video useful, go ahead and give it a big thumbs up. It really helps our channel grow. If you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and hit that subscribe button because we love to have you here at Sew Granny Sew. Thanks all. Have a good day. Bye.